I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Veni Okojo joins us. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on. If you would, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Sure, no problem. Stotsu. I'm Veni Okojo. I stream hack and slash and action RPG games on twitch.tv/VeniTuber.
Yes.
I'm a Stoat VTuber, a Stoat Gremlin, and it's good to be here.
A stoat. You're the first stoat I've interviewed in 35 years.
You want to know what a Stoat is?
I know what a stoat is.
Okay, good, because I've had a lot of people be like, what's a stoat? It looks like a weasel or a ferret. And I'm like, no, it's different. It's still a mustelid, but it's different. Like, there's a running joke in my chat where people call me, like, otter, weasel, literally anything but a stoat. Because no one knows what a stoat is. The only way they know what a stoat is if they play that game Inscription or whatever. I know a game called... I streamed this one time called Thank Goodness You're Here, which features a stoat, but, like... Stoats don't really get a lot of love in, like, the, just fictional media in general, which is one of the reasons why I even chose Stoat, because, like, I thought when I first debuted that there wasn't any other Stoat VTubers. Now, I know some Stoat VTubers, but we're really, like, small in numbers and small in size, too, so, like, I just picked it because it's cool and no one does it.
Well, now you get some t-shirt merchandise. Embrace the stoat. And
I do remember when I was first starting, a fan made a shirt based on an inside joke that said, like, I went to the Veni Okojo meetup and all I got was this lousy shirt. It showed a photorealistic like, version of a stoat on it.
Well, I remember stoat from the Monty Python series.
Ah.
Yeah, they have a couple of times they do mention stoats during the series. Like, I'd have to go across the pond to get my first experience with the stoat.
I think the only Monty Python related thing that I have seen is the it was like I'm a big fan of the Beatles, and they made like some parody of the Beatles.
The Ruddles.
What was it? The Ruddles, yeah!
Yep.
I watched the original Ruddles movie in my Discord server.
Oh.
George Harrison is in that as a cameo, and that's really funny.
Oh, the songs are amazing, too.
Yeah, they're really good.
And
they really capture, like, a lot of the charm of, like, what the Beatles did, except kind of parodying them as well. It's really good.
Yeah, what they did with the videos to it, like, for... was it Cheese and Onions?
Yeah.
I'm like, I remember that. And then they did it just like it was in the original Yellow Submarine film. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was.
I haven't seen the original Yellow Submarine film. I have seen Let It Be and Get Back as well on Disney Plus. I'm a huge like Beatles fan, so I've seen like a lot of their stuff. I haven't seen everything though.
Yeah,
I've also seen Hard Day's Night, but I was like when I was like 12, and I don't remember much of it.
Yeah, well,
I do want to go back and watch them all though. I love the Beatles so much. I could talk about that for like hours.
Oh well, I tell you what, I used to. A friend of mine from college was a huge Beatle maniac and was a collector and tried to get everything they possibly could. And I was used to go, this is back in the 80s, so I went to the local record swap and would buy as many records as I could with all the money I didn't earn. And we found an original first Beatles album, supposedly. Parlophone label, all of that stuff. And we both know this is not, this is a fake. It's got, there's no way it's going to show up over here. I bought it anyway, and I come home. And the first song is supposed to start off 1, 2, 3, 4. You know which song I'm talking about?
Yeah, I saw her sing there from Please Please Me.
Right, that's the one. And when I put the record on, it starts off 4.
Did you know if it was a first pressing?
Oh, it's not. It was very, very fake.
Okay.
It didn't even bother with the 1, 2, or 3. Just 4. Started the song.
Yeah, definitely a bootleg than was for all of it.
And I actually did have a Beatles bootleg once. It was it was an album that had all different versions of Strawberry Fields on it.
Ooh, yeah, I've heard of that one. I have a Beatles bootleg I have digitally that's like my favorite Beatles album is Magical Mystery Tour. It
Mm-hmm.
has a bunch of different versions of that
Oh yeah,
album, including some Strawberry Fields. Like
yeah,
there's some tracks on my bootleg of Magical Mystery Tour that has like there's a part where the bus can like rolls around in like both of your stereo channels.
yeah.
It's just that isolated track, and I'm like, I've never heard this before. Oh my god. Like it's so eye-opening when you hear like unofficial versions of like the process of recording the song and
Oh yeah,
everything. It
yeah.
makes you really appreciate like the final product and everything.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm so pissed that they have not released like anniversary edition of it, like the one that Giles Martin like produced or whatever for like Revolver and Abbey Road and Sergeant
Right.
Pepper. They just skipped Magical Mystery Tour, and I'm like, why? It's really good.
The movie isn't so hot.
The movie's not great, but the songs I swear by are the best the Beatles have ever done.
Yeah,
Because it has Strawberry Fields, Fool on the Hill, Penny Lane is really good too. All You Need Is Love.
Yep.
It's just the best.
Yeah. Yeah. The my friend also had a book that chronicled every time they were in the studio,
Yeah.
and then told you, if they recorded a certain take of a song, if you could find it on a bootleg somewhere.
Cool.
And so he of course went about trying to find every single one of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did manage to fluster him because I found a I'm, folks, I'm really old, okay? I I went
Mhm.
to a Target and they had a pile of cassettes in the $3 bin. And if you're a really cheap guy like I am, you go there for, bootleg music. And they had a
Yeah.
Beatles live 4-song cassette that he never could find out where it came from.
I see.
They think it's from a television show somewhere.
Yeah, it's not from their first American appearance because that's like all over the place.
Oh
But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it could be a television appearance.
Yeah, so I was like, here you go, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was. Oh, and I enjoyed I like the lore about the Beatles. Like listening to the different mixes.
Hmm.
I had a mono copy of Revolver, and that was
Cool.
interesting and different.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
people don't realize that their mono mixes are completely different than their stereo mixes.
Well, the main reason why is because the Beatles were actually there during their mono mixing. The stereo mixing was kind of just an afterthought, and
Hmm.
that's why a lot of like early like from like I think Rubber Soul onward, their stereo mixes are kind of weird.
Oh yeah.
From like Sergeant Pepper and onward, they get like good. But back then, if you listen to like Please Please Me or With the Beatles in stereo, you're like, stuff's on the left channel, stuff's on the right channel. Like, what's going on? It's jarring.
It very much is, especially if you only got one speaker working on your stereo.
Yeah, exactly. That's why like if you're gonna listen to any of the old stuff, just listen to like the mono or like the recent Red and Blue re-releases because Giles Martin really did re-engineer a lot of those tracks.
Yeah, and I talked with this a little bit about folks, but the first CDs that came out were done off of the original masters, which of course were off of tapes and were analog. And some of the first things that came out didn't really sound that great on CD because you heard all the edits.
Yeah.
And if you did that with, say, the White Album or Sergeant Pepper's, you're going to hear a million edits.
Yeah.
So they had to remaster everything before they could do it again.
Mm.
That I'm here. We talked all this time about the Beatles, and I'm going to talk about your channel. But I knew we'd talk about the Beatles eventually.
Oh, I love the Beatles. I could talk about that for hours. We are
well,
getting off track.
Well, let's get back to the channel because I
Sure.
know that it's been going well. I know you've been enjoying yourself, and
Yeah.
so when did you get started and why?
So I have known about VTubers for a while now. Like 2020 was kind of when everyone kind of first discovered VTubers because of the whole COVID thing.
Right.
And I didn't really like VTubers back then. I thought it was just, oh, squeaky girl with big booba. And then I started watching other VTubers like Calliope Mori and Crony that didn't have the squeaky voice. And they were kind of more down to earth and chill. And I thought, okay, I could vibe with this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of poked around in some like indie scenes. I thought, okay, I think I can do this myself.
Mm.
So I had a former friend of mine who kind of got me into VTubers and kind of helped me with like my own persona and everything. And I had some ideas for some like designs and models and stuff, but we eventually landed on a stoat because, like I said before, stoats are kind of not exactly common. I wanted something that was very unique,
Yes.
someone that you can pick out of a crowd and go, "That's different. I want to watch that one." So I started off on YouTube.
Yeah.
I wasn't really liking the YouTube platform because it's only really good for like more established creators, and like that's why all the corpos are over there.
Right.
And I kind of learned later on it was Sane Cisco, another VTuber, who told me, "Hey, you should probably try doing this on Twitch. I think you get a lot more coverage on Twitch." And I'm like, okay. And then 700 followers later, I'm like, shit, she was right. So I've been on Twitch recently.
Yeah.
Well, not recently. I've been there since like January of this year. Actually, this month, the 22nd, is my 1 year anniversary. So I've
Oh,
been doing this for about a year now.
yes.
And it's trials, tribulations, ups and downs, but like I'm definitely doing. It's a journey, you know.
Yeah.
And made a lot of friends and a lot of content and everything, but like I've definitely really evolved my channel from someone that was just trying to ape Hololive
Right.
to someone that's really forging their own identity and path and everything. I just got started with a sketch of my 2.0
Ooh.
like last night,
No.
and I'm really like honing in a very unique identity that like I don't think I've seen any other VTuber do, and like my 2.0 is gonna be something that no other VTuber has really done from what I've seen, and it's really exciting to look at the future of like where I want to go with this. But for now, I'm just kind of enjoying my thing, you know, doing what I like and everything. I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan, so I'm playing that a lot
Yeah.
recently, and then since October, I'm playing some horror games as well. But like, I kind of strayed away from just doing rhythm and action games because I want to pick out stuff like people would want to watch alongside the streamer. I'm not someone that really enjoys like watching comfy, cozy VTubers. I
Mm.
personally think that's not really engaging.
Uh-huh.
I want stuff that is visually engaging to the viewer.
Mm.
And having, you know, rhythm games with like big flashy lights and pressing on the buttons, and then action games which has a lot of cool combos and tricks you can do. Especially like I'm really good at Kingdom Hearts. I beat some of the super bosses from there, and there's a really good engagement between watching the streamer do these cool moves and like struggle with the boss but eventually beat it,
Right.
than playing like a little to the left and just connecting pieces together. It's not engaging to me. I want stuff that's like you watch it for the game, but you also watch it for the streamer. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Oh,
so I've been kind of
absolutely.
leading towards that genre.
Yeah. That's. I hope that streamers are catching on to that because it is. It's a lot like old radio used to be, where you could listen to a certain song on five or six different stations, sometimes in the same market, but you
Mm-hmm.
came back to hear that song played by the particular announcer, who
Yeah.
sometimes used a different name. You didn't see them. They had a different personality on the air. They came back for the personality running the thing, and um, that's I would imagine that's how you get a audience to come back to you.
Yeah.
It's marketing is what it is. It's marketing.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah, but you've kind of set up a different way of doing things all the way around, haven't you? I mean, some folks have gone in all out with the the visual of the come hither type uh, model and
Mhm.
the super innuendo, all this type of stuff. We talked
Yeah.
a little bit before coming on. You kind of stayed away from that.
Yes.
Why?
I'm someone that when you're looking at a VTuber, you aren't just there for the sexual appeal.
Uh-huh.
I'm someone that is very much one that is about the content, one that is about kind of the vibe. Because I don't really like saying the word vibe, because like it's not exactly like you're there for like a chill stream or an energetic stream. I want viewers to be there more for the personality and what they have to offer
Hmm.
rather than like I like staring at the booba for 2 hours, you know. So I want to go for more stuff that goes beyond a surface level appreciation and stuff that people can come back to over and over because they like the personality, you know.
Yeah. Well, it connects on a different level, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's a little more personal when you connect that way, and I bet that's more gratifying for you too.
Yes.
It's because you really you've really it's more than superficial. I'll put it
Yeah.
that way. Um,
Yeah.
and that does make a big difference for people on both sides, whether you're the streamer or the chat. Has it been easy for you to cultivate a good following at this point?
Yeah. I've kind of been growing pretty steadily on my Twitch channel. Like, I've started streaming on Twitch this January and already have like 700, I think like 36, 37 followers now.
Ooh,
It's kind of a lot for someone that's just starting out in
yeah,
like 10 months.
yeah. Uh,
But I have been like sort of struggling with trying to keep the uh, same amount of people because my concurrents have kind of been fluctuating up and down. I'm figuring stuff out, but like I have my repeats, and I'm usually happy that anyone's watching my stream. But like you got to deal with some struggles here and there when it comes to like keeping your audience for a long period of time, and you got to branch out to other things and everything. Like I've been wanting to like I will always stick with like my bread and butter of like hack and slash character action games and action RPGs. That's what I like the most. It's the most plentiful.
mhm.
But you also need to branch out into like weird quirky story games and some horror games from time to time because it is October and stuff like that. And especially if you can merge the two together.
Yeah.
Like for example, at the end of the month I'm playing a PS2 Xbox game called The Night Before Christmas Oogie's Revenge, which is a Devil May Cry style Night Before Christmas game that takes place after the movie. And it was made at Capcom and has a lot of, action beat 'em up mechanics. And it's so weird that like Disney greenlit that project, just gave Capcom the IP or whatever. It was when Disney was really trying to branch out into a lot of varied video game type stuff. It's also where Kingdom Hearts came from as well.
Oh yeah, yeah,
But it's really good when you can find a game that is, I like Devil May Cry, but also it's Halloween and people want to see the spooky stuff. So
yeah.
like, Night for Christmas is one of them. So having that like converge together sometimes is really cool and everything. But like, I am wanting to like grow more and not only just do collabs in general, but also like doing stuff that like maybe people don't expect you to stream sometimes, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it really doesn't. Like I streamed Escape the Backrooms, that did not really go well, but that's the thing. You try and you fail, but you also try and succeed. It's really
Yeah.
about experimenting and seeing what you can really do with your content and with your brand and everything, and see how you can stretch it out.
So have you always been someone who could take that step? I mean, a lot of folks would like to do, experiment with things, but not exactly include other people while doing it, and kind of put themselves out there for criticism. Has that been easy for you to do, or not?
Um, it has been kind of a low blow when you experiment with something and it just doesn't go well,
Hmm.
and you kind of feel really down in the dumps of like, am I even cut up for doing this whole VTuber thing? I've really felt that sometimes,
Hmm.
but at the same time, you know that like people have watched you before, you've had success before, you can get that success again.
Hmm.
Um, because like anything's really fixable besides death, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that when you try more attempts at different experimentations, like even collab games are actually the best way to not only experiment with stuff but also uh interact with new people and
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah.
I am someone that is kind of picky about like who I collab with and who I don't, because like I want to make sure that when a person comes onto my channel, I come on their channel, we mesh well beforehand. I
Right.
usually have the system where if I see a VTuber and I'm like, hey, you're cool, I want to interact with you offline first. Can we
Yeah.
like get in a call, maybe hang out, talk, see if we mesh well? I don't just jump into a collab with a bunch of Randys and go, this will work out.
Yeah.
Um,
Because you really
I'm,
don't know
I'm,
what you're doing, what you're jumping into then.
yeah, I'm very much a planner, someone that wants to make sure that this is going to work out. And sometimes that kind of falls through the cracks a little bit, and I don't really plan things out very well. But most of the time, I want to make sure that is this something people want to watch? Is the game people want to watch?
Right.
And is this a dynamic between people that people want to watch as well?
Yeah. But
That's
you got
why
to
I have a
keep
lot of like,
you
oh,
got to you got to keep yourself in there too. I mean, you've got to enjoy it too.
yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not like streaming every flavor of the week Steam game like Ducosis or Tiny Glade or whatever. It's like I don't want to just be the variety streamer. I want to be someone that has my own niche that sometimes branches out a little bit, but I want to have what I enjoy. Like even if like my Kingdom Hearts streams don't perform nearly as well as I'd like, I'm doing those for me. I'm doing those because I want to revisit them and I want to play them. And if people watch them, sure, cool. But I
Mm.
also have my days where it's like I know people watch this, and I can branch out a little bit. It's I have this like personal philosophy of like one for me, one for thee,
Mm.
where every week I have like 1 or 2 days where I'm doing something that is trendy and popular, and then I have my days which is about me and
Yeah.
just what I want to do. You
Yeah.
want to have that balance to make sure that you are growing, but you're also enjoying what you're doing as well.
Yeah. That's a great mindset to go with, and then if you can keep that balance going, then if one side kind of slips a little bit, then you can enjoy the other side. You really do have something to lean on one way or the other.
Yeah.
Well, but you've we talked just a little bit before, letting everybody know. We just talked a little bit before coming on, and you've had some problems every once in a while with folks coming on the stream, uh, um, and you just were very frank with me about it, about uh,
Yeah.
about your voice,
Mhm.
which I think is fine.
Yeah.
Um, how does that affect you personally? And when you
So
hear something like that.
So, since I am transgender, MTF, male to female, I sometimes get people who look at my model and think that I am something different.
Hmm.
I am like a gargura, squeaky voice type of YouTuber when I'm not
Hmm.
really. And one of the reasons why people really think that is because what my model looks like and everything is why I'm having my 2.0 in the first place, to kind of get something that kind of matches not only just my voice but like me, personality, content in general. Like I'm not changing like the basis kind of brown haired stoke girl, cute, is still gonna be the same, but like there's gonna be different outfit and different like vibe to it or whatever. And it sometimes kind of puts me off. I have this like thing where I've made a little chart called the Veni cycle, where it's basically like someone looks at me on Twitter and sees this cute stoke girl and thinks, "Oh, I should check out their content." Check out my content. They're like, "Oh, that's a guy." I'm not a guy, but they think that's a guy, and they just kind of click off because they expect something really different or whatever. And
Yeah.
it does bum me out a little bit, but at the same time, I know that there are people like you said, you're not really bothered by it, but like other people aren't really bothered by it either. They're there for not just the looks, which is why I haven't gone for the whole, overly sexual thing.
Yeah.
They don't go for the looks. They go for, on the surface level, they go for personality and content. And like, Veni Okojo is a cool VTuber, and
Yeah.
I'm going to watch him instead of, I want my sex appeal. Where is it? So it has been kind of depressing a little bit knowing that there is an audience that I'm not capturing because of that sort of brand inconsistency. But especially with my 2.0 coming out, like not for a while, but like it is coming out, I will get a more consistent like brand that will capture a very consistent audience or whatever. But for right now, I'm just like, if people watch me and they don't care, cool, great, that's nice,
Yeah. Yeah. My take on this is, and you can do like my wife does and tell me just go fly a kite, old man, if you want, because it works.
Yeah.
But if the folks are coming in and they're not accepting something like that right away, that's not an audience you want, because they're not coming in for anything deeper than the very shallow experience that they're looking for. The folks that you want, and I'm looking at this as old radio guy again, is the folks who are coming back for you, for your content, your personality, how you interact with the chat, all of that stuff, the deeper type of connection, which is wonderful. Those type of connections will come back and blossom a lot more than a shallow planted seed in any day.
Yeah.
So I hope, I'm sure you're not doing this just to try to attract those people who are shallow enough to tune out. But the thing is, it's all you, and if folks can't deal with that, then there's other fish.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a big sea, and you're obviously very talented in keeping what you've got going. People coming in to watch and listen to you, and everybody else can jump off a pier.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a VTuber for every niche, every style, etc. So I like VTubing a lot because like there is a VTuber for pretty much everything, and if people don't like this VTuber, they can watch another VTuber, etc. And like, I've always said this, that if there is an audience for very niche like art, then there is an audience for my content and that sort of thing. So
well, you've already proven that.
Yeah. So that is a really good analogy of like, there is plenty of fish, there is plenty of VTubers, and I know that like there is an audience that I can grab that like likes Kingdom Hearts, that likes the little gremlins talking about the Beatles and the Kingdom Hearts and the blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Because I have very niche topics as well, Linux as well. I'm a very big fan of Linux.
Oh my gosh,
so
that is really niche.
Like, yeah, I'm actually running Linux on my desktop right now. I could get into that, but like, I have a lot of niche topics that like isn't very mainstream, but I know that like someday there will be people who like, I've started to get more people who use like Linux. I'm kind of starting to appear in some of their communities a little bit, and so I'm sort of grabbing the audience that I want and being like, hey, come to my streams. I talk about these things, So I am sort of growing the audience that I want. You know what I mean?
Is the Stoke community bigger than the Linux community?
Oh, the Linux community is bigger than the Stoke community. I can say that much.
Well, what about the Linux Stoke community? Does the Venn diagram draw any circles in there?
Just me. It's just me. Like there's Linux VTubers, and then there's Stoke VTubers, and then there's just me.
Well, you said you wanted to have a unique stream.
Yeah, like I don't think there's any other VTuber that is a trans Stoke gremlin action RPG specializing Beatles loving small VTuber. You don't really see that anywhere. There's like a million like succubus VTubers and elf VTubers, but there isn't a VTuber like me, and I really cherish that.
Well, I mean, the fact is, I mean, just in talking with you here, it's very obvious you've got a very engaging personality. You're fun to talk to.
Yeah.
Folks are coming in. Folks are going to come in and stick with it if they have any type of depth to themselves whatsoever. And the ones that don't, I said, long walk, short pier. They can go find someplace else.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and really, it's just going to be a question of once people come in and hear what you're doing, see what you're doing, they're going to like what they're seeing. They're going to come back. It's just a question now of getting it out there more. And you're everywhere. Yep. I mean, I almost have to get another thing of descriptions to put all the links up.
Yeah, pretty much.
So with that, all of the different media that you're in, is there anything you want to concentrate more on besides, of course, the Twitch first, but anything else second?
I have been wanting to get into like more like Twitter alternatives. I'm someone that doesn't like Blue Sky because like it's not exactly well run, and like people just use it because it's not Twitter.
Right.
I know that like I'm a big like free and open source software person because I run Linux and I like all of that. And the equivalent to that is something called the Fediverse. So like Mastodon and like other instances, kind of like connect together into one decentralized environment called the Fediverse. And I've been trying to get a vt.social account, which is one of the instances for VTubers, for a while now, and as soon as I get that, I'm just gonna start posting there all the time because like that's where all the Linux people are and the FOSS people and all the niche people
and the Stoats.
So I want to Yes, exactly. So I want to interact with those people on that platform. And then like I do want to also grow my Discord server a little bit. I've been really struggling to figure out like what I want to do. I have so little free time because like I'm a night shift worker, and I work from Friday to Tuesday from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And so my day-to-day system is like I wake up from last night's work at like 3 p.m. I do stream from like 4 to 7:30, maybe even 8 if I can stretch it. Go to work at 9 to work at 10, and then go back and sleep, and then repeat that. So like my free time for every workday is my stream time, and my weekends, just Wednesday and Thursdays, is like I have some free time, but like it's kind of in the middle of the week. Not a lot of people are really on because they're still at work or college or whatever. So it's like I can do some stuff, but like it's not super like universally available or whatever. So like I'm still trying to figure out like what I really want to do for my disc. I've been doing some like movie nights sometimes. Sometimes I get people, but like I'm still really figuring out how to engage with my audience outside of streams on my days off as well. Well, I can't do that stuff when I'm working or streaming because like I'm working or streaming.
Right. Right. Well, I'm gonna tell you this right now. You're gonna have to come back.
Yeah.
Because we got too much more stuff to talk about than we could do just a one interview.
Yeah, of course.
It's too much fun talking with you about everything here, and I'm running short on time. But we're going to have all those links that we've been able to find, even some ones you probably don't want us to publish. We're going to put them on. They're going to be on the description for the videos, and you got to check out to see what Veni's got going on because she's got so much stuff going on, and everything is going in a positive. Everything that you've told me about what you want to do with the channel is positive and sounds entertaining. People have to check it out.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and thank you so much for coming on, waking up early to come on with me.
Yeah, I'm usually not up this early, but like I did it because I wanted to be here.
Thank you so much. We'll get you on again really, really soon, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.